September is here. If you're a parent, that means back to school for your kids. If you're a teacher, it means back to school. And if you're not a teacher and you're not a parent, it means the end of summer, all of which can wreak havoc on our mental health. I think this is a really, really pivotal time for us to assess where we are mentally, assess where our kids are mentally, and sort of reset and be more aware. So today's episode 44, that's what we're going to talk about. This is the Better Mental Health for Kids and Parents podcast. All right, everybody, welcome back to the show. I am Dr. Christopher Fasano, your host of the Better Mental Health for Kids and Parents podcast. This is episode 44, What's Your Struggle? And thank you so much for tuning in again. And for anyone joining me new, I appreciate you coming to the show. On this podcast, we will discuss all of the relevant mental health topics, and in particular, how they affect our youth and those that care for them. All right, guys, so for anybody who's following me knows that the place where you can go to find all the previous episodes and all sorts of content related to mental health in kids is mentalstrongkids.com. That's mentalstrongkids.com. You're going to find podcast episodes there, 43 episodes. You're also going to find articles that I write and then other people contribute. You can also find more information at Mental Strong on Instagram. There I'm doing a campaign now called What's Your Struggle? And that sort of dovetails exactly with this episode. That is the title of this episode, not by coincidence. And there I'm highlighting other people's struggles and trying to unite people over common struggles. Okay, so check me out there at Mental Strong for some sort of daily content on mental health. And please subscribe to the show on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, wherever it is you're consuming it. And tell your friends, and please leave a review to let me know how I'm doing and let me know what more topics you would like to hear about. All right, so I alluded to it in the beginning of the show. This show is going to be more of just me talking to you. Typically, I have a topic. I talk about some statistics. I'll talk about a new study. I'll talk about some things, maybe some strategies. But here I'm just going to talk to you guys for the next 10 minutes. And I'm hoping that you'll listen, take it to heart, maybe utilize it, maybe not, or talk to your friends about it or talk to me about it. All right. So, this is going to be September. When this comes out, we'll have a couple days to September. And, kids, if you're a parent, kids are going back to school, and that causes a very change in routine for parents. If you're a teacher, you're going back to school, that definitely causes a change in routine. And if you're none of those, it's the end of the summer. And the end of the summer means, sort of back to reality in a way. The summer offers certain things that non-summer months don't. We're more maybe relaxed, we have more fun, we do more things, we travel more in the summer, and that kind of goes away. So I feel that this is a good time for all of us to sort of do an inventory or to assess where we are mentally and how we're doing, how we're feeling. Okay. And this is sort of why I'm saying the name of this episode is What's Your Struggle? So what I'm doing on Instagram, for those that have been looking and following, is I have right now I've gotten about 35 people. I'm really grateful that they were willing to put this out there. And I've asked people to tell me what their struggles are. And I'm highlighting it and posting a picture of them, what their struggle is, anxiety, and a little caption of them speaking about why it bothers them. And the reason why I'm doing this is not to humiliate anybody and not to embarrass anybody, but it's to let other people know that you're not alone in your struggle. One of the things that I've learned about doing this podcast, in writing articles in mental health, is that not a lot of people care. I will post an article on Facebook about suicide and suicide rates in children. And you would think that a lot of people would read it. You would think that a lot of people would share it. You would think that it would resonate with a lot of people. And quite frankly, it doesn't. Now, this could be me. People might not like me. But if I wrote an article or posted an article about how sitting on the toilet in New York City or New York State you can contract a flesh-eating bug or bacteria, I guarantee you people would read that or click on it. Or if I was to say that there is something going around in the air that's getting into our lungs that can lead to lung cancer, people would read it or people would click on it and share it. But what I'm afraid is, for some reason in the world of mental health, in particular when it comes to children, people are indifferent or they don't seem to resonate to that. And I don't understand why that is. It's either they don't care, they don't think it affects them, They don't think it affects their kids. Maybe they don't believe it. Maybe they have their own view. I'm not sure what it is, but I hope that none of those are the case. And I just hope that people are just busy and don't have the time to read anything. So why am I saying all this? We all struggle. We all struggle. Everybody struggles. And your struggles are not unique. I can guarantee that all of the struggles you have, the majority of humans have similar struggles. So as we move into September, as we come out of the summer, as our kids go back to school, as we go back to school as teachers or administrators, and we know we're going to have more stress, and we know that there's going to be a different change in routine, now I think is the time for all of us out there, especially parents, to identify what our struggles are. That would be the first step in sort of doing a mental inventory, okay? Write them down on a piece of paper. You might have 10, you might have 1, you might have none. I doubt it, but you will have some sort of struggle. And I want you to write them down, and look at them, and sort of rank them. Which one causes you the most pain? Which one affects you the most? Because remember, as a parent, if you struggle with that, and it's causing you to, it's causing a disturbance in your attitude, in your being, you're affecting your children. If you are anxious as hell, your kids will turn out to be anxious as hell, most likely. Because if you're acting anxious or neurotic and crazy and blah, 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 I'm using these words with air quotes, your kids are going to think that that's how they should behave. And they're going to grow up stressed out. So what is happening with us? What is our struggle? Identify that. Put it down on paper. And then what you do is put it somewhere, I don't know, at your nightstand, or put it somewhere, and remind yourself of that struggle frequently. And when you think about your struggle, think about ways that you can sort of counter that. If your struggle is that you're angry a lot, okay, number one step is to identify that. You did, great. Then as you move forward, be conscious of your anger. And when you're conscious of that anger, maybe you'll stop and be less angry, okay? So, why are we talking about this now, and what is the significance? Stress is the number one killer of humans. And for kids, it is the number one driver of suicide. We're coming into September. This is Suicide Awareness Month. And I just wrote an article about this, that suicide is the second leading cause of death in teenagers. And the incidence of suicide doubles during the school year. And that is because of the stress that we put on our kids in school. And it's more stress than it used to be. So if we are struggling to the point where we are so stressed out, so angry, so anxious, so consumed, that we can't identify and see the struggles of our kids, we might miss something, and we might not be emotionally available to see what their struggles are. So we have a responsibility to get our struggles under control so that we can help our kids identify their struggles. And now if you have children or young adults in your life, or you're a teacher and you're teaching kids and you see them struggling, help them identify their struggles. Help them know what it is that's bothering them. Have conversations about that. Let them know they're not unique. Let them know that you struggle. Let them know that you get sad, that you feel angry, or you're upset, or you get scared. Humble yourself to not only your kids, but your friends, your family, your neighbors. Like these people who have given me this information to put out on Instagram to the world. Because if we can all relate and talk about our deficiencies, if you think about them that way, I don't, but people do, then they're not so negative anymore. And what happens is you start talking about it together. If I had some sort of disease, if I had some sort of rare lung disease, and I found 10 other people who also had it, I would have conversations with them. I would want to know how they deal, how they struggle, what are they going through, what medications do they take, how are they approaching the stress that it's causing. Why is this any different with mental health? If I'm suffering from depression or anxiety or body image disorder or some sort of disorder, my kid has ADHD, my kid has severe general anxiety disorder, why won't I talk with other people or parents who have similar struggles? Why am I just doing this all by myself? all it's going to do is cause me more stress and cause me to be more removed from the life that I'm trying to be more present in. Okay? And so this episode today, as we move into September, out of the summer, out of the sort of, looseness that is summer, the free, fun-loving summer, and we come back into the September. If you're in the Northeast or you're in somewhere where it gets cold, starts to get cold, days get shorter, depression starts to roll in, right? No, it gets darker earlier. Are you going to be ready for that stress? Are you going to be able to handle it and plow through? And the way we really get ready for that is by arming ourselves and knowing already what our struggles are. And if we can do that, we can counterbalance them quickly, we can become more present, and we can help our children be more present and less stressed during a time of year in school where they're ultimately going to feel that way, okay? So in episode 44 today, What's Your Struggle? I challenge all of you out there to identify your struggles. Write to me and let me know what they are. bettermentalhealthshow@gmail.com. Instagram, send me a message @mentalstrong. What's your struggle? Get it off your chest. A lot of people who have done this have told me it felt great to get that out. It felt like a relief. And some of these people that they wrote me, I mean, I'm shocked that they actually put this out there. But you can see how much they want to get it off. So if you're a parent, especially a parent, and you have kids, more than one especially, do this as a therapy. Identify your struggle. Talk to your kids, find out what their struggles are. And as we move into September, into Suicide Awareness Month, more stress, let us all feel like we can come together over this and not feel like we have to shoulder the load by ourselves. You don't have to do that. All humans are human, and we all struggle together. So I challenge you, everybody out there, what's your struggle? Talk to your kids, find out what their struggles are, tell them it's okay, tell yourself it's okay, and find people who share similar struggles and do it together, because that's the way we really make a difference, all right? So I'm wishing everybody a happy beginning to the school year. If your your kids are going back to school, or if you're a teacher going back to school, I wish you guys best of luck in the beginning of your year. I hope everybody had a great summer, and let's continue this great positive outlook on life as we move into the winter and dark months, all right, guys? I will catch you all in episode 45. What's your struggle? Let me know.